Welcome viewers to this particular lecture on microbial toxin. In this particular lecture, I shall be talking about fungal toxin, or we commonly call it mycotoxin. Before I start my deliberation, I wanted to tell you a story. It was observed that cattle grazing in a rye field, they suddenly showed abortion if they were pregnant. And the cause of this abortion was actually mycotoxin. The toxin produced from the fungus called Claviceps purpurea, causing the disease of ergot of rye, produced a toxin called ergotamine, which actually caused the muscle contraction of the uterus end wall, and as a result of which abortion resulted. So this is just a story to indicate the toxicity, the powerful mycotoxin. And we now start the lecture on mycotoxin. Mycotoxins actually, as I told you, is obtained from different fungi. There may be 300 such secondary metabolites produced from different fungi, of which 30 different compounds are really toxic or having some toxic implications. And this particular toxin actually produced different toxicity because of their certain distinctive properties. These properties are, they are stable enough to stay in the environment and also enter into the animal or human body. They are pharmacologically active, they can be transported easily, and they have close relation with the amino acid and the fatty acid, so they are well taken up by the cells, and they are actually not modified greatly by environmental factors, and they are produced by common moles which are not commonly observed by layman. So, as I told you that this toxicity comes from contaminated food grain, and this grain, like the maize grain as you can see here, is being contaminated by different fungi or mold, and that is causing the toxic implication. This is a particular Aspergillus conidia, and this conidia is actually producing the toxin aflatoxin. Similarly, this is Penicillium. Penicillium also can produce different toxin like fumonisin. And this is the Fusarium, which also is commonly producing the deadly toxin of fumonisin. There may be different causes of toxin implication, and this toxin can be due to ignorance. Persons are not really careful enough that they are consuming a food which is contaminated with different mold fungi. There can be poor handling. As you can see here, the cattle is grazing into the grains which are being ready for transportation, and this can lead to the spread of fungal toxin in the animal system and thereby into the food chain. Sometimes in the countries like Africa, the toxin implication is more because of malnourishment. As you can see in this particular child, the toxin implication is more because the child is malnourished, as this child is from Haiti. There may be severe toxic implication causing global toxicity. As you can see in this particular figure, that the toxic implications of aflatoxin from Aspergillus is causing liver cancer, and these are the different countries in different continents which are showing severe liver toxicity or severe liver cancer due to fungal toxin implication. Toxin can also come from common mushrooms. As you can see, this particular colorful sporocarp of Amanita is producing amanitoxin, and this amanitoxin actually is having severe psychedelic effect on the neural system. As you can see here, this is wheat grain. This wheat grain may contain Alternaria toxin, and this toxic implication is clearly observed in the blackening of the wheat grain. Now, the toxin, when it enters into the host system, it will enter mostly through the digestive tract, and thereby this digestive tract will modify or will be modified because of this toxin. And when the cells are being modified, naturally there will be more entry of pathogenic or non-pathogenic bacteria, or in other words, the actual bacterial concentration of the particular intestine will change. The mucus concentration will change, as a result of which there will be severe allergic reaction or production of interleukin. And this interleukin production will produce different antibodies like IgA, as a result of which the typical immunogenic balance will be distorted and you will see severe toxic implication of the digestive tract. So what we can see here, that a particular toxin is modifying the tissue of the animal system, as a result of which there may be severe allergic condition, and this may result in severe disease development or the development of a syndrome. Now, sometimes the toxin may bind with the DNA or protein, and when it binds with protein, it will block the protein which is useful structural protein albumin. So albumin will be bound by aflatoxin, causing toxicity, or at the same time in the DNA there will be the purine bases which will be removed by the toxin, and we call this a phenomenon of apurination. Coming to the pathway through which the toxin enters. Primarily, I told you that the toxin can enter through the digestive tract, modifying the intestinal endothelium. But it can also enter through skin. And when it enters through skin, primarily it is entering through the sebaceous gland, or it can also enter through the sweat gland. And thereby, there are blood vessels located below the skin in the dermis, through which it will enter the blood and it will spread into the internal organs. And when it enters into the internal organs, the toxic implications will be observed. This toxic implication can also be seen when the particular toxin is entering through the respiratory tract. As you can see here, the particular respiratory tract or the trachea or the bronchus is having mycelia of the mold Aspergillus. And this mold will produce the toxin in the lung, and thereby there may be the chance of lung cancer, even if you are not smoking. The toxicity can be acute, that is severe toxicity of food poisoning due to fungal toxin. Toxicity can be chronic, or toxicity can be both. But usually when the toxicity develops, it takes sometimes time. And this particular slide is depicting the different toxin, that is the aflatoxin B, the aflatoxin G, the aflatoxin BG. They are actually binding with the DNA, with the RNA, with the protein, and ultimately when it is binding with the protein, it is actually binding with the enzymes, as a result of which the metabolic activity will be shattered or will be in doldrums. The first important toxin, which is the argotoxin, produced by contaminated rye plant or sickle cereal, which is infected by Claviceps purpurea. And when it is infected, you can see here, they are developing a typical sausage-shaped structure in the ear of the rye plant, which is commonly called the ergot. This is the typical life cycle of the ergot. You can see that these are the grains which are developing the ergot, and then the ergot is developing the sporangium from where the spores are liberated out. These are the spore-bearing structures, which is called commonly the perithecium, which will liberate the ascospores, and then they will spread into different plants. I begin with a story that the cattle are consuming this contaminated rye plant, and that showed the toxic implications of argotoxin. Now, the ergot group of fungus mainly produce two types of toxin. They are the ergotamines and the lysergic acid. I already told you ergotamine is toxic because it is causing the contraction of the smooth muscles in different organs of the body, including the uterus. But the lysergic acid and its derivatives, they are very severe drugs, and they are commonly the narcotics, commonly known as LSD. And this LSD will have severe toxic implication in different organs of the human body, as shown in this particular slide, where you can see there will be dilation of the pupil, there will be sweating, there will be increased heart rate, there will be gastric irritation, there will be irregularity in the muscles in the form of tremors. There will be dryness of the mouth. There will be hypertension. And ultimately, there will be a massive system dysfunction. So these are all implications of lysergic acid, but not synthetic lysergic acid. The lysergic acid derivatives obtained from ergot group of fungus. Now commonly, there must be some specific ways of preventing it. Usually, prevention is mostly done by preventing the exposure to this particular group of fungus. Coming to the next important toxin, which is the Aspergillus group of toxin, which is produced by Aspergillus flavus, and as the name suggested, it is aflatoxin. Now, aflatoxin is also a secondary metabolite produced by Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. This is a common contaminated maize cob where the aflatoxin is being generated. So, if you consume this particular contaminated maize cob, you will be showing the toxic implications of aflatoxin. And very often when we take some bread or something where there will be some minute afla or Aspergillus flavus infection, we might disregard it, but this might be the cause of exposure to aflatoxin. And this aflatoxin actually is of different types. As you can see, it is having the B1 and B2, G1 and G2, which will produce a derivative called M1, which is relatively less toxic to the particular human being. As I was telling you about the different toxic implications of aflatoxin, you can understand that it is not invading a particular organ. Say for example, it is altering the intestinal integrity, and as a result of which the nourishment is not there, so there will be stunted growth in child. So aflatoxin exposure is more dangerous, more serious, more severe in case of child. Similarly, it can actually modify the liver tissue because of its epoxide ring, and as a result of which there will be immune suppression or liver degeneration, and we call it acute aflatoxicosis. And very often in a later stage, acute aflatoxicosis will result in hepatic cancer or liver cancer. Sometimes this particular epoxide will bind with the DNA and may actually cause the cancer, and which is commonly called the hepato or hepatic carcinoma or hepatocellular carcinoma. But in the long run, there will be definite, even if the cancer is not there, there will be hepatitis-like symptoms in the particular affected person. Another group of Aspergillus, which is commonly called the Aspergillus ochraceus. This Aspergillus ochraceus, this is the typical spores of Aspergillus ochraceus producing the conidia. This is the conidiophore, which is producing the conidia around the vesicle at the center, and this particular spores will produce the ochratoxin A. This ochratoxin A, this is the structure, you can see typical benzene structure, and this is highly toxic, obtained from Aspergillus flavus and also from Aspergillus ochraceus. This particular ochratoxin A, when it enters into human system or animal system, will produce different derivatives. They may be producing the ochratoxin alpha, they may be producing the ochratoxin B, they may be producing the hydroxyochratoxin A or 10-hydroxyochratoxin A or 4-R-hydroxyochratoxin A. But these are all derivatives of ochratoxin which will always show different toxic implications of ochratoxin. And whenever this ochratoxin is entering into human body, they will show different cellular irregularity. What type of irregularity? They may show necrosis, they may show damage, they may show fibrosis. And it can be clearly visible when we see the cell lines. There may be two types of cell lines like the JNK-P38 or ERK1/2. When they were infected with the ochratoxin, they developed clear symptoms of necrosis or apoptosis. What is apoptosis? The cell will die in immature state. Normally any cell will die after its function is over. But this cell is dying in young stage, as a result of which massive area of a particular animal body is showing death of the cell, and there will be severe dysfunction of that particular organ. So it is called premature apoptosis. They may be showing severe allergic reaction, and this allergic reaction will develop into inflammation or tissue actually showing swelling, tissue showing expression of lymphocytes or severe antigenic irregularity. There may be modification of the cell, we call it cell transition. Now the cell transition is not cancer. Cell transition means one particular cell is changing its size and shape and divisional rate. But if it persists, it will get into its secondary stage, it will get into its tertiary stage, and ultimately it might lead to cancerous development. Coming to another very important toxin which is produced by another mold. Now here I am talking about the different toxin of mold, but these molds may be innumerable number. We are only considering severe toxicogenetic effect of different toxin obtained from different molds, the major ones only. So here what we see is the Fusarium moniliforme, which is a fungus which actually is affecting different food grains including the maize. And you can see this particular white colonies, they are the Fusarium moniliforme, which is infecting the maize cob and producing the fumonisine. And this is a fumonisine organic structure, and this fumonisine is having a long chain, hydrocarbon chain with hydroxyl side chain, and of course carboxylic acid. This particular fumonisine may have severe toxic implication, particularly because it is a dynamic compound. It is divided into 4 different series: A series, B series, C series and P series. Primarily it has been observed fumonisine, when it is accumulated in the animal body, it will ultimately stop the neural transmission. How it is stopped? It has been shown in this particular slide that it is blocking the synthesis of sphingolipid by blocking a particular enzyme which is the ceramide synthase. So what happens is sphingosine conversion to ceramide is stopped. So what happens? The sphingolipid formation is not there. And what is sphingolipid? Sphingolipid is actually in the neuronal wall. So if the neuronal wall is not properly developed, the neural transmission will be impaired and the person will show severe neurotoxicity, which can ultimately lead to neurogenic cancer or brain cancer. There may be another important group of fungus, we commonly call it Trichoderma. Trichoderma is a very important fungus. Why, you know? Because this particular fungus is growing in the soil. It is not allowing the development of different toxic or different pathogenic fungi in the vicinity. So in one way, Trichoderma is preventing the growth of pathogenic fungus, which is really good for biological control in increasing the agricultural productivity. But this particular Trichoderma may also produce a toxin which is commonly called the trichothecene. This trichothecene molecule is actually having some epoxy side chain or epoxy ring, and this is ultimately causing toxic implication in different animals. It can cause toxic implication in cattle, it can cause toxic implication in other mammals including man. And when I see their synthesis, the synthesis is from farnesyl pyrophosphate. This farnesyl pyrophosphate will ultimately produce the trichothecene on one hand, and on the other hand, it can develop to produce neosolaniol. So neosolaniol is a particular compound which is also toxic, and because of its nature, it will be produced mostly in the members of Solanaceae family. So you can understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different toxic compounds are being produced from an apparently non-harmful product of farnesyl pyrophosphate. So thereby we can say this trichothecene is definitely toxic, and this toxicity will increase because of other toxin in the vicinity. Like what I say is, trichothiazine along with aflatoxin is a deadly combination causing toxic implications. And at the same time, this particular toxin is also blocking the protein synthesis. As you can see, they are blocking the cell divisional rate by MAPK activation. It is destabilizing the mRNA and it is causing inflammatory reaction which will ultimately lead to different symptoms like anorexia, like immune stimulation, like tissue injury, and of course there will be death of the leukocytes, as a result of which the defense reaction will be lowered and we call it immune suppression. And when a person is immune compromised or immune suppressed, he can easily be affected by different other fungus or different other pathogenic organisms. Another very important group, which is the Gibberella. This Gibberella Z is actually invading. You can see this green colony is growing on a particular wheat ear, which is that of the Gibberella Z. This Gibberella actually comes from the airborne spores and it can produce some hormones. But here, Gibberella Z is producing a severe toxin which is commonly called zearalenone. Zearalenone is actually a particular toxin which you can see this is the structure of zearalenone and it is having a resorcyclic acid with lactone. This particular toxin is more toxic in those animals which are feeding on grains. They may include the swines, they may include the cattle. What we can see when a particular wheat ear contaminated with Gibberella is being consumed by a swine, it will be showing severe toxic implications. There will be infertility, that is the testicular development will be reduced. There will be swelling uterus, there will be cystic growth in the ovary, there will be necrosis in the thinning and the thinning of the tail. There will be vaginal infection, there will be immune suppression and liver damage. And above everything, it will ultimately reduce the development and growth and of course the productivity of that particular animal. So we have actually started with the definition of toxin. We have talked about the different pathways through which toxin is entering into the food chain. We have talked about their management. Of course, in general, the perfect management of toxin is prevention from getting contaminated. So prevention is always better than cure in this case. And we have talked about different important toxin like argotoxin, aflatoxin, ochratoxin, fuminosins, trichothiazines and zearalenone.